My name is Zahid Ashrif. I'm doing this interview for Colourful Heritage, and it's about my grandfather, Atta Mohammed Ashrif, and my father, Dr Ibrahim Ashrif. My granddad's full name is Atta Mohammed Ashrif. He was born in India, Madarpur, on the 2nd of January 1903. We came here in 1926 by boat. They came to London first, and then they went to Belfast. Then after Belfast, they came to Glasgow. But mainly they came to Ireland first with 1926. The journey was quite long. I think they came through the Suez Canal, through the Mediterranean, up to the Atlantic, and we came with his cousin. They didn't have any money to pay for the fare, so they just worked away, helping, doing things there, odd jobs, and they made their way to Belfast. When he came to Glasgow with his cousin, they stayed in Nicholson Street, but at the time there was not many jobs, so what they were doing was they were getting loans of clothes and selling them on. And later on, my granddad formed his own company with Mr. Tanda, and they opened a warehouse, and other migrants came to them. They took clothes on loan, and they went all over Scotland, as far as Lewis, Stornoway, all over Scotland, selling. Once they came back, they gave my grandfather the money they owed, took some more clothes, and started all over again. And that's the way Grandad's business grew. He peddled clothes himself first. That's how he got to know the business, how to do things, and which things were selling, which things weren't selling. Mostly the clothes that were selling was mostly ladies' clothes. You know, ladies' tights, nylons, jumpers, cardigans. That was the kind of clothes they were selling mostly. It wasn't mostly gentlemen's, it was ladies' clothes mostly. During the war, my granddad left Britain and went back to Pakistan, well, India at that time. Came back after the war. When the war was over, 45, he came back. Then they started a business, Tanda Ashrif and Company. It was 17 years since he passed away. Yeah. He was a very kind man. As I say, he helped a lot of people start up their own business. As I say, Bashir Man, Sharif Brothers, and all these well-known multinationals now, he helped him. That's how they all started off. My granddad stayed in 21 Nicholson Street, and directly below the house was my granddad's warehouse, which was number 23 Nicholson Street. When people came to do the peddling, most people didn't have any money. What they did was my granddad took them in. They stayed with my granddad a few days. My granddad told them what to do. When they went and sold the goods, they came back and paid my granddad off. And plus the fact that all these people were here, their families were back in India in those days, or Pakistan. So what they had to do was they had to send money back for their own families as well. So Grandad helped out. Sometimes they didn't have enough money, so Grandad would loan them money. The good thing is all the people trusted my Grandad. They were getting a start in life, so you know they did keep their word and pay my Grandad off. The business ran on trust. As I say, as the more peddlers came, my Grandad's business grew. You know, grew as well. So obviously they helped Grandad and Grandad helped them, so obviously, you know, they worked in tandem. When Grandad first came, the challenges were obviously place to stay, money-wise. Obviously they had to eat. The local community were quite kind. They weren't discriminating against him or anything. They were kind. They were good to him. If he needed anything, they helped him out. You know, like if he wanted tea, sugar, milk, then you know they helped him out. And Grandad remembered that. He paid them. He gave them back what he got off of them as well. My granddad at the time was an elder. Any families who had problems, marital problems, or any family feuds, they would come to my granddad for resolution. He acted as a mediator, solve the problems. My granddad basically had the cash and carry, the warehouse, till 1973. In 1973 there was a compulsory purchase order on our house and warehouse, as they needed the land to build the new Glasgow Sheriff Court in the Gorbals. So we all moved out and we went to Kings Park, and we stayed in Kings Park from 1973 to 1994. Before they formed the actual Muslim Association, there used to be in Oxford Street, there used to be a seamen's club, which where all the people, if there was other Muslims, Indians, Sikhs, all ethnic groups used to meet there. There used to be show films there. People used to go and watch films there, and from there the community grew. People got to know each other, and then the Muslims, like my granddad, plus a couple of other people, they formed this Muslim Association. And my granddad was he formed it. He became the treasurer. Well, he was the founder basically. They all used to maybe gather once a week and talk about issues, what's going on, concerns, and any other things they wanted to talk about. As far as I can recall, the first mosque in Scotland was formed in Oxford Street, Glasgow. My granddad probably was the first Muslim to give the Adhaan in Scotland at that mosque. My dad's name is Dr Mohammed Ibrahim Ashrif. He came here firstly in 1937, studied at Alan Glen's Academy, done quite well, but then the war broke out in 39, so from 39 to 45 he went to Pakistan, well India at that time. Came back here in 1947, went to Edinburgh University, got his PhD in agriculture. When my dad came here initially to study Alan Glen's, he was on his own, so it was just himself and my granddad, his father. So he found it hard as well. Obviously there was no mother, no helping hand. Found it hard, but then again he was an academic, so study was his passion. When my father came to do his PhD here, he was married. There was my eldest brother was born at the time. He was still in India at the time. One of his friends was doing a PhD as well at the time, Mr. Tahir, and they stayed in. One of the persons has got a restaurant there called Cushies. They stayed in their house. They were quite kind to him. Once my dad got his PhD, he went back to Pakistan, went to the agricultural college in Punjab, Lalpur, which is Faisalabad. Finished off his studies there, degree. 1957, my dad gets a job with the Agriculture Board in the Gambia in Africa. Right. When my dad went to the Gambia in 1957, he worked at a site called Yundum Experimental Station. It was basically people, overseas people, mostly British people. There was one other Indian scientific officer there as well. There are two languages in the Gambia, one being Mandinka and one being Wolf. My dad, with the help of his cook Laman, he wrote a dictionary in the Mandinka language, which he got published. And in 1963 he's awarded the MBE for his services by the Queen, and he stays in the Gambia till 1966. In 1966 he finishes up. In 66 he comes back to Glasgow. In 67 he gets a job in South Korea, but with the United Nations. But things didn't work out. In 1968 he comes back to Glasgow, and from 68 till his passing away he stayed in Glasgow with his family. When my dad came back from South Korea, him and his brother-in-law set up a business, a grocery shop in Anniesland. They were there they worked there together till 1989. Until 1989, him, my dad and his brother-in-law opened another shop in Neilston, and I helped there as well. I was a partner there as well in that shop when we done that shop to 1994. Once he retired altogether, Dad didn't just sit about the house. He was a bookworm. He liked to study, he liked to read papers. When he came back, he found languages very interesting. So he went to Woodside Academy and Shawlands Academy, sat A-level Urdu, A-level Gurumukhi, and got A+ and medals for his achievements. My name is Zahid Ashrif. I came here in 1956. I was only 8 months old. I came with my mother. We flew over from Pakistan to Glasgow. When I started primary school, there weren't very many ethnic community at the time. I vaguely remember four. Well, my cousins were there. My friend who stayed below the mosque, Mr Ibrahim, he stayed there. And there were a few girls there as well, but there weren't very many. But as the years went on till I left school, the community grew, the ethnic community grew, and there was at the time there became quite a lot of Pakistani and Indian children at the primary school. I did attend the mosque at times. Obviously, I learnt the Quran Sharif there, so I did participate. Urdu, I didn't learn too much because, to tell the truth, I wasn't interested. It was mostly an Islamic teaching. My teacher, he taught us Islamic studies, told us stories about Islam, about the prophets. There's only a handful of people went there, but I found it quite interesting, and I did participate in quite a lot of the things there. I would like to say that the community in the older days, the older generation, when the first generations came here, they found life hard. They had to work, earn money, send money home. But as the second and third generations grew up here, life came easier, money was more available. Kids went to uni, got degrees, helped them, and obviously helped their children. So I think the best thing nowadays is people to go to uni, get degrees. As you can see, well, my children have got degrees. We have so many ethnic councillors, ethnic MPs, MSPs. So for the future, for ethnic people, I think getting a university degree will be very, very helpful, and I hope they do.